I wanted to quickly preface that this is scripted, at least my apology. I'll be quickly listing context as to why I'm writing this apology and giving light to the initial situation which caused me to write this or anyone to have issues with me, because genuinely not giving people context like that, leaving them in the dark, isn't really responsible nor fair, so I'll give you that. I also wanted to say sorry for any bad wording or stuttering. I'm genuinely trying to work on that, and I really hope no one makes fun of me for that. Thank you. So, the initial issue was between two friends of mine, Milks and Fox. Milks is Asian, Fox is not Asian. Milks is specifically Japanese and took issue with Fox using kanji in their display name on their art account, which is their kind of brand account, and also using Japanese culture excessively in their characters, which made Milks uncomfortable, and they had every right to be uncomfortable, and I will not back down from that. Milks had every right to be uncomfortable by that. And when addressing the issue, Fox completely ignored Milks, and Milks took issue with that, removed them out of a personal group, which made Fox even angrier. So I wanted to say that, Fox, you really could have just apologized. This would have never happened. And you will never move on from the situation if you don't apologize. At least just clean up your side of the street and admit you were wrong. It's a hard thing to admit that you've been wrong or you've had mistakes, but it's actually way fucking easier to just apologize and like let people have that, and also you have closure. So this doesn't have to be a thing anymore. Like, genuinely, it's not that hard. Please just do it. Like, you were extremely irresponsible, and I hope that you learn from this a lot, just like how I am right now. So that was the initial issue. I did take issues with some of my friends kind of being passive or more personal towards Fox, because the day this all happened was actually just generally a really bad day for Fox for a lot of personal reasons, which I won't list because they have every entitlement to not want me to list that, and that's just not respectful to them. So that's something I took issue with in a lot of previous things prior. And I'll admit that I didn't talk to these people about my issues beforehand that are personal as to why I have issue with them, and that's irresponsible. I'm kind of expecting them to be accountable of something I'm not fucking telling them, which is not fair. And I guess I did fucking telephone to an extent to kind of list why I had issues with them, which I don't want to do. And eventually, if any of you actually want to come talk to me about my issues so we can clarify that ever, I'm open to that. Anyways, that was the initial thing and the context to this context. So I hope I got that right. And to my friends, you are free to like say anything I didn't list in regards to that. So I wanted to take the time out of my day to come and apologize for the actions done yesterday. I have received critique on a previous apology, which was posted by Jack, and due to it being written at a bad time for me, I'll rewrite it as it doesn't do enough justice to any of you, nor myself. Again, feel free to interpret this as you like and accept if you don't or do want to. Please don't force anyone to accept this. Also, I'll mention issues about cultural appropriation later. If you are not from that specific culture, do not accept this apology on their behalf. I don't care what else you do, just on that specific issue, please do not, because that is their word, that's for them to accept, and also to each their own. Not everyone's gonna accept that from that particular group, and that's fucking okay. Let them have that. I genuinely will admit fault to my carelessness on what happened on Christmas Day onward. Nothing can excuse that, and I'd like to directly apologize to Milks here because of my poor choice of words and lack of ignorance from my and ignorance from my cowardness. That is inexcusable, and I'll admit to fault that I didn't pressure Fox enough to apologize, to accept what they've done, and continuing to be on decent terms with them isn't the right thing to do. That was extremely ignorant. Yet I'd appreciate not being blamed for his actions, as I never directly defended those actions. Those are his actions that he must take accountability for. He's an adult and he's capable of that. I also would like to clarify my original thread was made because I was mentioned alongside Fox for tolerating his actions when that simply was not true. I do not agree with what he did was right before nor after, and it is my fault for not chastising him enough nor voicing my concerns with him enough to the rest of you. Again, I shouldn't let my anxiety make me irresponsible, and I apologize for lack of responsibility on that part. I'd also like to quickly say, Sora, I do have a screenshot where you had mentioned me, so I'm not just jumping out to defend my racist friend or whatever. I did see you mention me very vaguely on a now deleted post where you even just straight up said my name, which is why I made this. I took issue with being mentioned so vaguely with no context, and I just genuinely hope that you know that I have evidence for that, and I didn't come out for no reason. I, however, do ask that Che does apologize for drawing content of their underage boyfriend. Che, you did know that Sora was underage. He was 17, which the actual law to be able to send nudes or to have drawn porn of yourself and like as an actual person is like 18 because that is the age of majority, and child porn goes off the age of majority where it is legal at the age of 18 above, not the age 16 below or the age of consent age, because if it was, then there would be a lot more 16-year-olds with fucking OnlyFans. It was 4 months when you drew this from him being actually an adult, so I just don't know why you did it. Like, he was about to be an adult, and the reason why I'm even mentioning this in general was because of the fact that Fox was being accused of being weird around minors, which was said vague intentionally to paint him as a predator, which, to that issue in particular, I do admit that him posting cropped shit of his characters isn't okay, and doing that where minors could have seen is not okay whatsoever. I was just simply asking that we also take the other adult accountable for actions they've done, because just hiding that isn't fair, it's extremely hypocritical, and it's holding a double standard. Please hold all parties accountable for that issue. As for my other allegations, I'll reverse them for lack of evidence sake. I did mention other things Che has done, which tried to paint Che as more of a racist to try to cover my own ass. I have evidence for that, but I don't want to show that right now. So I'm completely voiding those. You are free to be mad at me like as much as you like for that, because genuinely that was just pulling shit because I was panicking, and I will accept complete and utter fault that is just irresponsible as fuck to just go off shit with no actual physical evidence and just like from my mind, because that's just not fair. That's not how you do shit in court or anything. So, I genuinely apologize for that. I do want to clear out the air, however, the message that I had sent to Charlotte, which is the initial issue that I'm being held accountable for, that I do not care about the situation, end quote. That was poor wording on my part. It was an anger-filled text due to hearing someone hurt Jack. That issue was that Jack was venting on his private about being called codependent. I thought he was being called codependent because his opinion on the issue between Fox and Milks wasn't the opinion everyone else wanted or something. And due to him having autism, I thought they were just basically calling him stupid and not being able to defend for himself when he does have issues with codependency. That's what I took issue with. I was later clarified that it was a different issue they were listing and that he just kind of misinterpreted it at the time as it being talked about at this moment with this situation. And I was clarified on that issue to learn it was a critique of my relationship, which I also have a problem with because me and Jack have been fine. We are about to have 2 years together in May. And if you have problems like that, just at least talk to the both of us, not just one of us. It's really disrespectful, and And just talking to him, it's not fair to either of us, and it's just really disrespectful of how you view the relationship. I will also admit that not directly talking to Milks about that kind of critique of our relationship and just doing this game of telephone through Charlotte about that was irresponsible as fuck as well. That shouldn't have happened neither. I should have just directly have talked to Milks about that. That's not fair. And I also apologize for the ignorance and selfishness for choosing my feelings over others and just choosing to just say, I don't care, my boyfriend's feelings were hurt, was irresponsible because people genuinely do struggle with racism every fucking day. And just going, oh my god, my boyfriend's feelings were hurt, he was attacked as a person, isn't fucking fair, because that's not fair to those people. They go through shit every fucking day that I don't, because I have that privilege of being white. And I'll admit to just being genuinely fucking ignorant on that part wasn't fair to anyone, and especially not fair to Milks. Or just anyone that's generally a person of color. That was extremely fucking disrespectful, and I will be looking back on that as a reminder. I also want to apologize again for the adopt that was made prior to all of this happening. For me to appropriate Chinese culture, specifically the Chinese traditional dress, and try to make it seem okay, it was unacceptable. I remember when I made this adopt, I had commented under it something along the lines of, I tried interpreting the Chinese dress in my own way to make it my own version that's completely separate, yada fucking yada, which I had the green light from someone telling me that was okay, which obviously it wasn't fucking okay, and I learned that, and I'm not doing that shit ever again. I took that post down, it is still down, and I'm not planning to leave it up. I do, however, have the image explicitly using that dress, and if anyone likes me to show that again, I will. I apologize for that. Again, let people who are specifically Chinese be able to accept this or not accept this if you like or not like to. Don't accept this just because you feel like it if you're not Chinese, because that's not fair to them. All I ask is time. I'd like to have the time to improve, to better reflect on things again. I'm still a kid. This has taught me a lot, genuinely. And I feel like a lot of regret and hurt. I'm really sorry for hurting everyone. I'm sorry for hurting you, Sorrow, Che, Milks, AJ, and Charlotte. I'm sorry, I'm fucking crying. I'm about to. I am still, like, young. I'm only about to be 16. And I would like everyone to give me that sort of benefit of the doubt, and not a complete fucking age card. So I just need to learn from this, and I am already learning from this. And I genuinely want people to know that this hurt. I was vomiting a lot last night. Sorry for just throwing that out there. And I had to take time to just talk to my mom about the issue, and she gave me a lot of really good words, and this is why I am writing this, and also some motivation from my lovely boyfriend. So I did fuck up really bad. I really did, and no one has to accept that at all. No one, none of you. And all I'm gonna do from this is just learn, and I'm going to keep this up. I'm going to keep this account up, which I plan to I plan to have deleted it beforehand, which goes to my next point. I was going to keep this private. I wasn't planning to keep this account up before all of this happened. I believe that locking it and just simply logging out of this account would be a better option. I don't want my mistakes to just vanish like that. They will remain to be up for me to see, and for me to remember, and for me to grow. This will happen once all of my commissions are done, and then I'll be moving to a smaller, locked personal account. I've been mostly off Twitter for a bit now, and I've found that that has improved my mental health vastly. And if any and all of you know, Twitter has like a tendency to just be way too much mentally. So that's why I've been like not really active on this account. And I will continue to be like that, but I will answer any questions if y'all actually have any questions. because I feel like that's just something to get out the way. No matter how physically sick I felt, I am seeing all of this and I must take accountability. I love you all and thank you for being in my life. Without you all, I wouldn't have experienced this whatsoever and I wouldn't have had the opportunity to see where I needed more improvement on me and my character. Thank you for listening. I also want to preface I did get like really threatening messages through random Discord accounts, which I'm not showing those as really graphic and I don't want to trigger anyone's suicidal tendencies, but that's what initially made me panic afterwards to make that apology to calm people down because I genuinely did not want these death threats in the back of my head. I'm gonna continue to be inactive on this account from this prior. I am taking a hiatus except working on commissions still. I still have lots of classwork to do, and I hope y'all can see that. I do have responsibilities in my life, and just being around my family and like personal friends and all of that, just to let this whole situation fucking sink in, is all I ask for. Just genuinely. And I'm sorry genuinely for my racist actions. And I feel like that's a stupid fucking sentence. Like saying, I'm sorry for being racist is fucked up. As is, but I don't know how else to fucking say it. I had racist actions. I did those by being ignorant on a situation and holding my friend accountable for their racist actions. Again, racist actions doesn't equal racist person. I feel like what Fox can do to improve themselves and just improve for the like fucking everyone would be to just actually accept this and take fault. And to again those that I've hurt, you don't have to accept this apology at all. You really don't. None of you do. And to my followers, you don't either. I noticed that I quickly started dropping after all of this initially, which honestly that made me a lot less anxious because seeing the number go up has made me feel fucking awful lately. It made me feel just anxious as shit. So for now, I feel like just generally pushing off being a popular Twitter account until I'm older is probably best, and it will be best because I'm a kid. I need to still keep being a kid. Having like however fucking million followers or whatever is not something that a kid should have, especially all by themselves. It's not really fair. It's not really good. And it's actually fucked up my mental health more than helped. When I initially created this brand, this Sonam, I actually wanted people to follow me for both me and my art. And what I've noticed lately is that people have taken favor over me dunking on people rather than things that I actually create, which is, if anything, my fault because going off, you're following me for my person and then just doing this shit isn't really a good idea. And people are going to be following me and thinking that I'm a discourse account, which is the kind of identity I created now. I also want to preface that to those that I've made posts about, in particular, some of you just really needed your actions to be shown. I do not hate anyone that I am on bad terms with. I can't hate anyone, genuinely. I'm not capable of that. So I just wanted to get that out the way, that I'm genuinely sorry for some irresponsible actions on calling certain people out or whatever. I don't want to participate in this shit anymore. It's been so fucking mentally draining, and all I need is just to be somewhere fucking else for now. Or, I don't know, they make another art website that's actually good and not fucking Twitter. So I'm glad you all listened to this. I'm really sorry for ranting. Some of this was scripted, but a lot of the parts where you just hear me stutter a fuck ton aren't. And again, I really hope everyone has a really nice day. I'm gonna be off elsewhere for my mental health because again, I still very much struggle with self-harm, and seeing those messages was really fucked up, and I'm trying not to enact on those things. Again, I'm on medication for depression, etc. So I just need to leave that so I don't think about that. As far as the situation in general, I will always be thinking about that, and I will not forget this ever in a million years. I will not be forgetting this no matter how old I am. I hope you all are able to at least see me decently and accept that I am really fucking trying to make this up to all of you in some sort of way, and I'm genuinely like sorry for my actions. I'm trying to write this as maturely as possible, as because I feel like that's the best thing to do, and yeah, I hope y'all have a really good day. I love you all, and thanks for being in my life. Goodbye.